right, what's going on, guys? This is Coach Rob, and welcome to Team Hustle TV. So I'm very excited about Team Hustle TV. Welcome to Hustle Headquarters. This is my new office, my own personal space. It was great working from home. Having my home office is very cool. Being close to my boys during the pandemic was very cool. But now I finally get my own spot where I get to focus and really just dig into what I'm interested in and what I want to make videos about. But with Team Hustle, I'm going to be offering different opportunities, different ways of becoming part of the team. Because ultimately I want everybody to be a part of a team. I feel I have people that are interested in different things. People that have kids, people that themselves are interested in playing in the adult league. There's different opportunities, different things, the different ways of being part of the team. And the idea is to build community. So I'm very excited about it. What I'm going to be doing now is a quick intro video. I'm testing out the sound, I'm testing the lighting, I'm testing the video camera quality. And what I want to do is break this up into multiple videos. So I want to kind of do like a little series, and I want to talk about Thunder. I want to talk about Tamiami. I want to talk about Team Hustle. I want to talk about the clothing, everything that I got going. I'm very excited. But the first thing I'm going to kick things off with is happiness. So let's get that started. What's going on, guys? This is Coach Rob, and welcome to Team Hustle TV. So hustle, hard work is my baby. That is my passion. That is I've always described it as the definition to success. Hustle, hard work equals success. But ultimately, why are we searching for success? Why are we trying to always achieve success? What does success make us feel? And that is joy and happiness. And happiness, I think, is the purpose of life. When you think about how your time passes you by, as the years go by, as your life goes by, what you dedicate your time to and what you spend your time on determines your level of happiness. And a lot of times we get caught up with work, and we don't necessarily enjoy our work, but we do it because we have to. We do it to make a living. We do it to make sure that we could provide for our families. But work should be something that you look forward to, something that makes you happy, and sometimes what you're doing is not important. It's who you're doing it with, because we've all had jobs that aren't very fun jobs, but we're with fun people, and it makes it that much better. But happiness is an interesting thing. When I think about happiness, I feel like our goal is to always achieve as much happiness as possible. And I always talk about balance in life, and I always talk about the scales, as far as too much one way, too much the other way, but I always reference back to the glass half empty, glass half full. And I'm a glass half full kind of person, but somebody that sees the glass as half empty, they're not wrong, because at the end of the day, it's what they feel and how they see it, and their perspective of life. But when it comes to balance, we're gonna have our sad moments, we're gonna have our mad moments, we're gonna have all sorts of emotions, but the emotion that makes us feel best is happiness. And happiness comes through love, through gratitude, through shared experiences. So my wife had told me to check out this TED Talk series. There was a couple of different TED Talk videos, and one of them was about happiness. So that's the one that drew interest, and I started listening to it, and he started talking about what happiness was. Like, he pretty much broke down 75 years of research. So what it was 75 years ago, Harvard students started this research, and they interviewed 724, I think is the figure, people at that time. And some of them were Harvard students, and some of them were kids from the not so good areas in Boston. And what they wanted to do was measure and follow up and keep up to date with what they measure as happiness. So they started asking these questionnaires every year that's gone by, and that was 75 years ago. So after 75 years, there's still 60 of them that are actually still alive. They're in their 90s now, but they're still continuing to fill out these forms. And not only that, but those 724 gentlemen, because they were all men when it started, had kids. So now there's over 2,000 kids who are also taking part in this. And I think this is the longest running study on happiness, I guess, in modern history. So I mean, I think it's a very cool thing. I don't know if anybody's ever done that specific testing for 75 years, and it continues. So another thing that they did was add the kids. They also added the wives, to add that aspect of it, and I guess measure their level of happiness as well. It's important to determine all aspects when trying to determine happiness. But the way that he summarized happiness was, he goes, it's simple. It's relationships. And by relationships, it's not just your loved one or your family, but your friends, the people that you connect with, the people that you resonate with. So it could be a perfect stranger, but something that they said, something that they did, something that you saw, brought out a connection, and that connection is ultimately what leads us to happiness. So when we have poor connections, meaning we're not happy with the work environment, we're not happy with maybe situation at home. Everybody goes through all sorts of things throughout their lives, but the idea is that you don't want to keep yourself in a position where that relationship is straining your happiness. Because let's say your work relationship, that's something that you're at, sometimes 8 hours a day, every single day, Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. I mean, just count the hours and the days that you're spent in a situation that does not bring you joy, and that's tough. That's a tough thing to manage, a tough thing to handle, and I feel like lately mental health is something that's been talked about a lot. And when I think of mental health, I break down the two words mental and health. And just like physical health, we need to eat right, we need to exercise, we need to be fit, we need to be active, we need to take care of our bodies. When it comes to mental health, it's the same thing. We need to take care of our minds. We need to eat right, we need to exercise, we need to do things that are going to allow us to work with that mental health. Because I feel like every human being has some sort of mental thing, whether it's they think too much, they're self-conscious, their confidence is down, anything that causes you to question anything about yourself, is what I would consider mental health. Because now you're questioning. You always want to be on good terms with your mind, and you always want to make sure that you're giving it the best stuff possible. So as much as we scroll through the internet, as much as we watch these TV programs, I'm a big believer that you're learning on social media. You're in touch with the world. You're in tune with your friends through social media. It's social media. So it's a way of being around your friends or even strangers, but people that you connect with. And those connections can make you happy or they can make you depressed, but it's the way that you see things. And a lot of times, just watching these videos, one thing I want you to always think about when you watch these videos is that in this moment, you can choose to be happy. And whether you get stressed out the moment you scroll up or the moment that you watch something else or that you get back to work, you could choose to be upset again, or you could try to see things different, because you might not be able to change your work scenario, but the way that you see your work scenario could change, and go out there and make relationships, go out there and make connections, go out there and meet new people, and that's what we're trying to do here with Team Hustle. It's not just going to be me all the time. One thing that I'm very excited to do is interview people, and that's what the purpose of this couch is over here. And you can't see the hustle in the back, it's glowing, but the purpose of the couch is to be able to interview people and you pick their brains, and it's not going to be famous people or people that have 100,000 followers or people with followers. I don't care. I'm going to interview interesting people. Sorry, my phone is making some noise. I'm gonna be interviewing some interesting people that are going to make you see things a different way, and maybe you'll connect. Sometimes something as simple as music or a TV show that you like automatically give you some sort of connection and something to share with someone else. And ultimately, going back to that video of happiness, those relationships, that's what we want to fill ourselves with. Relationships that bring us up, that bring us happiness, that bring us joy. I appreciate you tuning in. That wraps up my happiness video. This video is going to be on Hustle Hard Work. I manage multiple social media pages, but the idea is that through one portal, I'm able to communicate for all the things that I'm working on. So stay tuned and catch you at the next video. Remember, always hustle hard work. Hello? Yes, how you doing? Awesome. If possible, that would be great. Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. All right. How you doing? Yes, please. Robert? Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Bye. All right, guys, I'm back. This is Coach Rob, and welcome to Team Hustle TV. So today I'm going to be talking about Thunder Basketball. So Thunder Basketball is my baby. Thunder Basketball was born about 12 years ago, and Thunder basketball was inspired and created by the lack of basketball knowledge that I had, the feelings and the emotions and the struggles that I went through playing basketball as a kid. And the goal is to give these kids every tool possible to make them as successful as possible so that they could ultimately represent their school, their travel program, whatever they want to achieve through basketball. I want to give them that fundamental base. And we do it through Thunder, and we've been doing this for a long time, and our proof is in the talent that you see in this high school level. Some of these kids are still currently playing with us. Some of these kids played with us for years during middle school. We've worked with some of the top kids in the entire county, and I've been very fortunate to make some connections with some amazing families. And the way that I treat my travel program, it's like a family. You're joining a family, and the goal there is that we're all striving for more, and that's what separates us, and I have the elite, the select, and the supreme. For 2023, we're not going to be hosting any tryouts anytime soon. In the past, we would do tryouts. We'd get a good amount of kids. We'd split them up into teams, and then we'd go out there and compete. I'm staying away from that model because it's very complicated. Too many things going on. When you just add so many pieces like that, and like I said, it's a family. So in order to become part of this family, you have to understand what you're getting yourself into and what you're committing to. Because whenever I create things, I'm always looking long term. I'm always looking big picture. You're seeing your kid playing travel ball this season. I see your kid going to college. First with the education and potentially even through basketball. But the goal is to get them there, and you start with middle school JV varsity, high school JV varsity, and there's steps to everything. So I want to provide a path, and whether it's a part of their path or their journey all the way through college, I want to see these kids all the way through, and we're fortunate enough to have been AAU world champions in the first year ever that they created the world championship. Thunder Supreme class of 2024 went out there and they did it. They proved that a group from Miami can get together, commit to each other, commit to something bigger than themselves, and compete at the highest stage and win. So congratulations to that team. Congratulations to Coach Alfie this past season. They made it back to the finals, and they were featured on ESPN. The game was streamed on ESPN, and it was a surreal moment. It was the proudest moment by far. Those guys continue to set the standard, and I look forward to them winning it this year because I know they will. They're out there doing their thing in the high school season, and I'm very proud of them. But if you want to be a part of the Thunder program, first you got to be very committed to basketball. You got to be very committed to being a part of a team, and you got to want it. You got to want to be good. You got to want to be great. And you got to want to put the team above yourself in order to achieve the ultimate success. Because the number one thing for success when it comes to Thunder basketball is commitment. The kids that have commit and have gone through the struggle and have gone through the losing. They come around and they win, and it's just a matter of time. Winning is guaranteed. It's just a matter of time. So you got to be willing to commit. You got to be willing to put in the work, and there is a financial obligation that goes with it. Competitive basketball is a very expensive. Anything competitive is expensive. If you're taking anything serious, then you're making an investment into it because you're getting a return. And what you're getting in return when it comes to Thunder is beyond basketball. You become part of the family, and my sons, RJ and Jordy, 10 and 8 years old, they got their little travel teams, and we're going to be going up to AAU Easter Classic in April, so I'm very excited about that. But we got some big things coming for Thunder. We're going to grow organically, one player at a time, one team at a time, and the goal is always to be the best, except none less. But thank you for staying tuned. Thank you for following Thunder. I'm going to be posting a lot more about my players, about my coaches, about my teams, about all these ideas, all these cool things that we got coming up, and especially this travel season. We have AAU and we have the Alliance, two amazing organizations that provide the best competition in the state of Florida. So I'm excited to be a part of both and going out there and competing and seeing what the best looks like. Because in order to be the best, you got to beat the best. In order to beat the best, you got to play the best. So I'm very excited. I will catch you guys soon. And remember, always hustle hard, hard work. All right, what's going on, guys? This is Coach Rob, and welcome to Team Hustle TV. So today I'm going to be talking about Tamiami basketball. So we are currently starting up our winter season. We just had our fall season. The fall was amazing. We had over 60 teams between the recreational and the competitive. The divisions were extremely competitive. The draft was awesome. The teams were very balanced. I think there was one team that was undefeated and they ended up losing in the semifinals. So for me, the success when running a league is no team going undefeated. Unfortunately, there's times where teams, lose every game, and there are times where teams go undefeated. It happens. As best as I try to make the teams as fair as possible, it's gonna happen. But I always do my best to give the kids an equal opportunity to play for a championship. If I stack up a team, everybody knows that team's gonna win. There's no point in running the season. Tamiami's been around for over 50 years, and there's a lot of legacy, a lot of history there, and I'm honored to be a part of it. When it comes to the draft system, I felt that it was such a unique thing, such a cool experience to be able to draft kids based on their ratings, based on their level of play and skill, based on what you see in the tryouts. So I've tweaked it and I've added, the game has evolved, recreational basketball has evolved, everything has evolved, and I'm proud to say that I've helped evolve the game, and I've always been planting these seeds so we could have a strong foundation, so we could ultimately blossom and have an amazing experience, and to continue to build on this legacy for Tamiami. So this last season we ran out of Gibson. We also started our program in Homestead. Homestead, it was a little slow to grow, but I'm hoping to get some leagues and some tournaments going down south so we could, generate some interest. And I have zero doubt that we'll have a couple hundred kids in there in no time. But Gibson is in South Miami, and Gibson has been our home, and it's been an amazing host. It gives us an opportunity to continue to play indoors and provide the kids with the best possible experience when it comes to youth basketball. So this winter season now, it's called what I call a carryover season, meaning that it's a competitive season where teams are allowed to stay together, because it's beautiful to be able to draft new teams and get new players and get new coaches and get new experiences, new teammates. But it's also great when you have something nice going to let it run a little bit more. So I created this carryover season with the intention of allowing teams to stay together and play together. And by staying together, it gives them an advantage, making them ultimately competitive. So now, since I venture into the competitive realm, now I invite outside programs that are already competitive to come and play against us. Sometimes those teams are stronger because they've been together for 2 or 3 years, or sometimes they just have some very talented players that they're able to put together. But ultimately, I think it's great for teams to try to stick together and compete against the next level. That's how we challenge our kids to be their best. I'm a huge advocate in recreational basketball. Anybody that wants to play basketball, usually when they ask me about basketball, the first thing I do is recommend Tamiami, because everybody has to play recreational basketball at some point. At least once a year, even if you're playing at the highest level, you should participate in a recreational program, because it forces you, if you're a very good basketball player, it forces you to be a leader with a brand new group. It forces you to be a leader with sometimes a brand new coach. So if you're able to do that with different settings, different coaches, different teams, you're going to be ready for any high school situation, any travel ball situation, and ultimately it gets you ready to play at the highest level. So anybody interested in joining the recreational basketball program in the fall and in the spring is when we do our rookie program. I did it this past season with little ones that are 4 or 5 years old, and they played, and it was such an amazing experience. Everybody had such a good time. It was like a soccer match, because the final scores were like 4-6, but every point that was scored, that place would erupt, and it was an amazing experience for those little ones. And the little ones are our future, so that's our most important group. That's that foundation. And right now for this winter league, we have 15 7 and under teams. So those are kids that are 7 turning 8. And we have 15 of those teams. That's the most that we've ever had in that division, and that's the kind of foundation that we're trying to lay. So I'm extremely honored to be a part of this Tamiami program. I'm honored to be a part of this history. We've had some of the top players in the state. We've had some of the top coaches, that have gone to coach college basketball. We've had officials that have made it all the way to the NBA with the Goebel brothers. They're representing Tamiami at the highest, and we were just a little stepping stone in their journey, but honored to be a part of that stepping stone and to see what they can accomplish. So that's the kind of things that we're trying to do with Tamiami. We're trying to grow the legacy, and a lot of my friends and my family, they have their kids in there, and for me, that's the ultimate feeling, the ultimate reward, being able to work with friends and family. But thank you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned. Follow us at Tamiami Basketball on social media, and TamiamiBasketball.com, the website. But make sure to register for the next one in the spring when we will be back in Tamiami, May 1st. All right, tryouts for that one will be at the end of March.